one of the highlights of the week. Hey, it is Saturday, October 30th. We are running the news on Saturday this week because the week was just too full of stuff. First, I'd like to welcome you to the TG cabin. We're working on remodeling a little bit around here and adding some new stuff at TG Central, just like we have at the site. So the site has been hopping all week, and I hope you've been able to keep up. So I got to run through a lot, well, as much as I can remember with some notes here about all the cool things that happened. So if, hopefully you saw some of the neat and really entertaining columns that we have on the home page. We have a bunch of new features on the beat this week, starting with a whole bunch of stuff with MattB, and hopefully you have had a chance to check out some of the interviews that I did with him a little while ago, talking about various things, some of the obstacles he has to playing as far as being able to not see things on the neck. And then we talk a little bit about Bach, we talk about Stephen Sondheim and Leonard Bernstein and nail care and some kind of cool techniques. So that's our new recurring feature on the beat. And then right next to that we had the Guitar Chronicles, a comic strip. Matt had a blast putting this together, and I gotta tell you, I gotta hand it to him because he just did a fabulous job of storyboarding all kinds of stuff, putting together scenes and stuff, and of course he had a little bit of help from a cartoonist, one of our members' sons, Matt, another Matt. We were heavy on the Matts here, but really Big Matt surprised the heck out of me with this one, so that was very cool. And then we showed a lot of Tommy Emmanuel stuff in the Acoustic Snapshots column. We had a great time earlier this year hanging out with Tommy and getting to know him a little bit and getting him to talk about all kinds of things. He talks about, of course, Chet Atkins and one of the songs. The song I Still Can't Say Goodbye. I'll get back to that lesson maybe a little bit later. Maybe not. I might forget. But anyway, Tommy talks about a lot of things, including Initiation, one of his really, really powerful songs. So be sure to check that out. We had a column that Vintage Snapshots that is this week started with a bunch of stuff with Mike Mullins talking about Martin D18s from the 40s and some of the changes that happened to Martin in 1946, particularly when they changed the wood they were using for building tops. And then just general history of the Dreadnought guitar, which this is a small jumbo. This is my Santa Cruz guitar. I know you haven't seen as much of it lately, but I finally brought it back to clean it up and just do all kinds of stuff. So, and then we have a column that features something you may have seen a little bit of before, a tour of the Taylor factory done by our guest reporter, Damien. And we really want to encourage you to help us out with stuff like this. If you're ever someplace that you think other people at TG would like to see, shoot it, upload the video, and let's share it with everybody. Matter of fact, along those lines, this is a really good time for, now that we've got so much new stuff happening, really want to encourage you to spread the word to friends and family and everybody you know about how things are working here. Of course, it's still a work in progress because we didn't want to shut down the site, so all these things are changing by the minute. The big focus of the week, for me at least, was piles and piles of lessons. We've been trying to put out every day a new student review, a new free lesson. So another big feature of the site is we haven't really padded up the free lesson area much for a while, but now that's become a higher priority for us. And then of course a whole bunch of target lessons, and then a bunch of shorter lessons in the IRL campfire range. So let me give you a little rundown on those. I know we had a review of Photographs and Memories. We had a little Is There Anybody Out There? So if you haven't seen some of these, and then of course we had there was one on Black Water, one on The Weight, and what was the last one? Oh yeah, Across the Universe, Rhapsody. So if you've been working on Across the Universe, or especially if you're thinking about it, there's a few pointers in that one that came out hopefully very lucidly. Ooh. Maybe we get into this one sometime soon. Anyhow, we also had a bunch of the shorter lessons, like Caveman Rock. Kinks, You Really Got Me. Loved putting that one together. There's a few more along those lines coming out. And then I had a chance to do, oh, did I lose my pick? No. Had a chance to look at some Beatles tunes that were really kind of campfire songs, so they just turned into short lessons. There wasn't really enough in the song for it to become a long, elaborate thing, but we looked at Ticket to Ride and I'll Follow the Sun. Threw a nice little lead in there, and that's it. That's the most complicated part of the song. You just heard them. The introduction and the lead, and the rest of the song is easy. Play the chords, G. Ooh, I'll give away the whole lesson here. Anyway, had a lot of fun with that one. Then we had a bunch of free songs. We got a chance to take a look at an alternate version of A Pirate Looks at 40. Jack Johnson performed this quite often, at least live. I think it showed up on one of his albums. But A Pirate Looks at 40 was a song that we, of course, had in our Jimmy Buffett section a while ago, but I was really happy to be able to put up the more of Jack Johnson's arrangement that is really, really easy. So you beginning guitar players that would like to take a look at that, 4 chords, no bar chords, moves along slow, very easy to change and stuff. I mean, just to make those changes and everything. So we had free lessons on Black Water as well in China Grove. Not this one. There we go. So if you've been thinking about learning some of those Doobie Brothers tunes, Black Water, what I did in there that made it a little bit different was have it really just strummed. The chords are very simple in the double drop D tuning, and if you just strum it, it's a level 2 song, let's say, rather than a level 5 or 6, whatever it is in the finger picking version, maybe 7. I don't know where I put that one, but then we looked at Neil Young's Helpless, a level 1 song, so really for beginners. If you're looking for something that you should be able to play like right now, you got it. Helpless, that's the ticket. And then a slightly simplified version that is playable in standard tuning, and that's what. So in the Target program, there is a longer version, a more elaborate version of American Woman done in the open tuning that Randy Bachman used in E minor 7th tuning. So hopefully you get a chance to check that out in the Target program. But if you want to tackle the one that doesn't require retuning anything, take a look at our free version of American Woman. Then on the Target side, there was the elaborate version of American Woman. The only way you can play that song accurately and get the bluesy intro and then everything else, and get all of that stuff happening, is to go into this tuning that I'm sure he used, because it's the only way you could play the acoustic part, and it's very handy for the electric part and even for playing the leads that he did in there. So in that lesson we look at everything. The intro, the rhythm, the caveman rhythm, I guess, while we're on caveman songs, and then the lead, the opening lead, like I just started playing there. Now it gets a little jamming later, and there's a lot of cool history to the song, so I hope you get a chance to check out that lesson on American Woman. Then we looked at a really obscure tune, at least here in the United States. Colin Vearncombe and his band, Black, English band from the 80s, this was a song I'd never heard, but Matt really asked me to listen to it and say, you know, can we do something with this? It's called Wonderful Life. So it had very simple chord progression, but a nice little intro. And what we do in this one is work on this light percussive playing. Getting snapping sounds on beats 2 and 4. So had a good time putting that lesson together, and it's a good way to start working on some of the percussive stuff that happens in lots of other songs. Then we of course looked at a couple of Kinks tunes. I don't think I did this part of the lesson though. Probably should. Very, again, kind of basic tune, but you gotta make some quick chord changes and stuff in there, and so a fun one. Then a song that a lot of people maybe didn't know was the Kinks. So unless you follow the Kinks, it may have escaped you that this jazzy, oh, how am I gonna do this? Sunny afternoon. Hadn't thought about playing the solo version of that, but I should. And but definitely catchy little jazzy tune, goofy song about the tax man, about this poor, well, this wealthy poor guy. So, and then we had Tommy Emmanuel and Chet Atkins. I Still Can't Say Goodbye. Now in that song, again, I left it kind of hanging up in the air as far as stuff you have to do. So you got to really interpolate some of the things that are in the tablature. And then of course we had we got to take a look at a chord solo for Wild Horses. Now this was fun to do, and I will be doing more of these because I'm kind of going back now to some of our older songs that have these. And now that I got the chord solos package or set of lessons put together, now I can address those and give you enough information to do that. So that was about it for the week. A lot of changes. Thanks for hanging with us with everything, and love what's been going on the forum, all the comments and everything. And just stay tuned, keep spreading the word, and we'll be shooting a little bit more from the TG cabin in the near future. We might have Matt might even be here a little bit later for a lesson. We'll see what happens with that. So until next week, probably on Saturday as well, because we have another very busy week planned for you. We should put up that forum post about guess what's coming. Maybe we'll get on that later this afternoon. I will see you next week, the first Saturday in November.